Hello. Grand evening, everyone, and welcome to the Flock podcast brought to you by the Flocking Network. Tonight, we have me. We're doing things a little bit different. We're kind of going to go back to the beginning of how all of this started. And I did a TikTok earlier and shot the Nerf gun at the map. So we picked a topic, and that is going to be the Sphere Being Alliance and kind of everything that revolves around that. So if you like what you hear and you dig the vibe and you want to support the flock, make sure you click the clickables. From there, you can become a member, leave a donation, grab some flocking merch. And if you want to be on the Flock podcast, there is also an option for that. And all of those links and everything are in the show notes. So I kind of wanted to bring this back. Shitmess had suggested this, that I kind of just like randomly throw something at the map to pick a topic. And it did rebound, James. It came back. I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. There she is. So she was like, why don't you just like shoot a Nerf gun at the map? And I was like, okay, that would work. And then I had to come up with a solution as to how I was going to mark that. The flower worked. And so we did that, but I wanted to, this kind of like sparked this whole thing and brought me back to, gosh, what's this now? Almost going on 3 years when I started this. And I started initially going down into these rabbit holes and researching all of these things, like way back, right? Like way back, even a little bit before COVID started, right? Like I started digging into some of this stuff. And I stumbled upon this map. And at the time that I had found the Great Awakening map, it was not a thing that was widely talked about. And I distinctly remember multiple times like getting banned on lives, my videos going down trying to talk about it. Like every time I showed the map, shit would start getting weird. There wasn't, like, you weren't allowed to tag it, you weren't allowed to say it, everything would get shut down. And now it's kind of this like widely accepted thing, and there's a whole bunch of them now. So the one that I'm talking about is the Great Awakening map. And if you're interested in getting one, or if you want to, he's got free downloads on his site. Let me pull one up here. I should have one. There we go. There's a whole bunch of different ones, and some of them are set up differently, but this is the one that I'm talking about here. And it kind of breaks everything down. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of go over this and how I have found it best to understand it and read it. Because there's a lot going on here, and there's over 800 points on this map. And basically, Champ, the designer of it, went into this meditation, and through his research and his studies and his spiritual journey and everything, like came up with this. And this was right at the start of when the memes were going around, and he wanted one that was going to just have everything on it. And so this is kind of how it came to be. Hello, everyone coming in. Welcome. So how I suggest reading this, and the best way that I've been able to understand that, is you're going to want to start all the way down at this bottom line here. And I know it gets a little blurry, but this is the Escape the Matrix line. And basically this fine print down here, like there's vaccines, big pharma, fake news media, Hollywood occult, educational indoctrination, taxes, 5G, open borders, that social security number, basically everything that you need to look into in order to start breaking out of this, right? And then what I would suggest doing is going all the way up to the top of the map, which is interesting that this is the first topic that I shot at, because the very top of the map is a quote by Ra. And Ra is of the Blue Avians, which is part of the Sphere Being Alliance. So it all kind of like ties together, which the universe is funny like that. So it says, increase your service to others and be more loving to yourself and everyone in order to raise your vibrational consciousness level. Forgive yourself and others, thus releasing karma. This will change the vibration of the planet, raise the shared consciousness of humanity, and change excuse me, and change humankind one person at a time. Treat your body as a temple and change over to a higher vibrational diet to aid in the process by Ra. I also highly recommend reading or looking at The Law of One, which is also in here. After you read the bottom of the map and the very top of it, I kind of just recommend letting your eye fall where it will, right? And if you kind of read this from the bottom up, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense. And then the other thing that I think is really important is this quote right here on the side, which is everything you learned in school is a lie. And it kind of encompasses everything here that we were either taught about, wasn't taught, right? Purposely omitted, or what we were taught was completely wrong and backwards. And then the other important thing that I want to know in my research in this and in studying this map is there's particular things placed certain places for a reason, right? So like if you like obviously some of this stuff is already circled together, but pay attention when you're looking up certain topics of what's around it because those things are going to be directly connected to whatever topic you're looking into and your research is also going to naturally flow that way, but it'll help you, right? Because those things are directly connected, or if they're not directly connected, there is a really big connection that was put together by putting these in particular places. You'll also find too that there's some things that repeat themselves. Those are important. The size of the lettering is important. I mean, there's so like everything on this was, I believe, done with distinct intention. Um, so we shot right here is where the dart landed on the map. So we have the sphere being alliance with the Guardians, but you see how all of this is in a circle, right? But then like what's directly next to it is going to be super important. So I did pull some stuff here and we will read. And then we'll do some active research. And then if you guys have anything that you want to add in on this, feel free. And if it's too much for the comment section, I can also drop a link if you guys want to hop on for a few minutes and kind of talk about what you know, what you've learned, where your research has brought you. If you have anything that you want to add into this, let me know and we will get you that link. All right, let's go to the comments here for a second. It's funny when we realize that everything we learned is a lie. It is, yeah, and it's funny because when you start looking into some of this stuff, you realize that there's a little bit of truth sprinkled into it, but the majority of everything is just a lie or just half of the truth or just a small section of it. And, watch this hand over here so that you don't see what the other one is doing. And Katie says, yes, I've noticed when I went back that my whole walkthrough theories is all a pathway on the map. So smart. Yes, exactly. Came over from TikTok. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to come over from the TikTok, you can actually see what we're talking about. There's visuals, there's visual aids. The other thing that I wanted to pull up here, let's stop this sharing for a second. Other things popping up on my computer for some reason. Hold on, we gotta click the things. I gotta move this over. All right. So here is, can we share this one? Oh, perfect. Okay. So Ra is of the blue avians, and they have very bird-like features, right? And this is the full quote that was also at the top of the map. Will it automatically switch if I do this, or will it stop sharing? Okay. So it's just that. I'm still learning how this stuff works over here because sometimes if I click it, it'll. Oh, I can click this, share this tab instead. Okay. So let's start with, before we get into the sphere being alliance, I feel like it's important to understand who the blue avians are and where they come from. So who are the blue avians? The blue avians are the highest avian race. These 8-foot beings are humanoid with bird-like features, with deep blue feathers. They are a higher dimensional being existing between the 6th and the 9th dimensions, leaving the human race well behind in the 3rd to 5th dimensional group. They act as a single intelligent entity, and their messages and facilitators on the one infinite creator. Bringers of peace. They have visited Earth billions of years ago in their enormous spherical crafts, which are as big as planets. In a higher dimension, our solar system contains over 100 of them. Fortunately, they are on our side and strongly against the world's ruling cabal. Their spaceships have created a blockage in our solar system to prevent the cabal from escaping. Their technology far surpasses our secret space programs, which are actually further ahead technologically than most of us can comprehend. The blue avians are part of the alliance along with along with other races and humans here on Earth working against the ruling banking mafia of this world. So where did this race come from? Look, sorry. I thought I clicked it. The avian extraterrestrials originally came from another universe, but they are now located throughout this universe in many forms. The realm that they came from, we would consider to be an angelic realm. Many avians in this universe have evolved from small birds that were seeded by the 12D avians and the 3D planets in various galaxies. They evolved with a huge diversity of color, size, and adaptations. Eventually, many developed an expanded consciousness because of their ability to see the big picture of their world. Their sentient development and their visionary perspective and ability to move via thought. Some found themselves being able to teleport and soar in their minds to other lands and then planets. This broadened I think their reach. So they discovered and made a home on this new planet. Later, avian species were genetically mixed with humans. As this was an experimental trend in the universe, birds of Earth are a gift from the higher dimensional avian beings to help regulate our electromagnetic atmosphere. Hello, what's up? Welcome in, everyone. You believe that it's beyond the ice wall? Yes, the blue avians. All right, what's this say? So higher intelligence. They are known for their bright intelligence and multidimensional sight. They are great spiritual masters and teachers who evolved from the planetary governance of many worlds. They have the ability to easily raise vibrations and are free thinkers and feelers and not bound by the confines of group consciousness. Higher dimensional avians forms are often called upon for their naturally higher perspective. They normally send an energetic form of themselves around the universe for consultations. They have a great historical record with humanity, and they have attempted to enlighten us to a new perspective, usually through high priests and shamans. They are assisting with the movement for global disclosure on Earth. They are part of the federation called the Sphere Being Alliance. They are here to keep energies stable and to monitor the energies coming in. They are also multidimensional in that they can materialize into higher densities. Their function is to act as devices to diffuse the powerful waves of energy coming into our solar system at this time. Their huge ships are stabilizing the new energies coming in that are creating energetic consciousness ascension. So beyond space and time. They exist beyond the confines of space and time. It is believed that these creatures have contacted humanity for millions of years, aiding in the spiritual development of humankind. Their appearance on Earth has appeared throughout human mythology. For instance, the Egyptian god of the sun, named Ra, was pictured as a bird-headed being. He was meant to represent the noonday sun and creator of seasons, days, months, planets, and animals. He was most often depicted as a humanoid with the head of a blue eagle wearing a beautiful crown. Another example was the high priest Thoth, who was an integral god with the Egyptian mythology and known for solving disputes and developing systems of advanced writing and magic magic and science. Hello and welcome in, everyone coming into the chat here. So this is interesting to me, like for a number of reasons that this topic got picked. But we were just talking on the other show about these contracts coming up and how they want full disclosure on everything, and why I believe that everything is starting to come to a head, and there is so much disclosure happening, and now all of these departments of all of these things are coming out, and they're actually starting to speak on this. They can't hide it anymore, which I think was also part of the plan too, is with the technology that we have and this instant reach of people and instant access to information, like they weren't going to be able to hide it for long. I feel like this is all kind of coming to a head and all planned out, right? So these contracts are coming to an end, right? And their job was to basically keep these energies here, right? And they're trying to take down and work against the cabal for the greatness of humankind is the way that I understand it, and the research that I've done on this. Do we have any questions so far before I keep going? Oh, that didn't work. Hello, welcome in. All right, I'm going to share this tab instead. Look at this. Oh gosh, they've updated stuff. This is so wonderful. So, um, in your research, let me pull this map back up, actually, is what I want to do. Share this screen. Sorry, I can't share multiple screens at once. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. It will. The truth will always come out. All right. So, through the research of everything, you will see Corey's name pop up so many times. This is so blurry on this end. It's not blurry on my computer. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can get this here. All right. Seriously? Is that cutting out for you guys? My whole screen is flashing right now. Okay. I got Wi-Fi buttons going off. I got low internet going on. Is everything still good on your end? Because that's weird. I start talking about this stuff and now my stuff is messing up. Okay. So you're going to see, okay, it's good. Everything started flashing. I still have a Wi-Fi warning. I don't know what's going on. You're going to see Corey's name pop up a lot. And he was like in direct contact with all these people. And he's got his own YouTube channel. He's got his own series of shows. Like, I highly recommend looking into him if you already haven't. All right. So this next one, then, this is why I wanted to show this to you. Hold on. Uh-oh, I lost my other screen. Jesus Christ, what is happening here? There we go. Okay, so this is his site here. All right, so life inside the secret space program. So this ties into an even broader topic, which is also on the map. So this is just, you kind of got to go from this dot to this dot to this dot to this dot to kind of get how everything connects in. We're good? Yeah, Tony's watching the fucking planets are in the microwave. Weird shit's happening. So, truly remarkable insider and whistleblower, Corey comes forward to give accurate information about what's going on behind the scenes of the secret military space program, the secret government, and their development with the industrialization of our solar system. In a narrative that to some might read like fiction, Corey reveals the true story of humanity's celestial presence and the details of an extraterrestrial message, which conveys details of the coming collective ascension for humankind. The Sphere Being Alliance is here to guide us through the ascension process, but it's up to us to enact the changes that will lead to full disclosure. Corey relays the spiritual message from the Blue Avians, which details the spiritual advancement that we are to make. I got to scroll on this page. Okay, so who is the Sphere Being Alliance? Recently, the Secret Space Program Alliance was joined by a group of beings that no one had encountered before. They are a 6th to 9th density group of beings that have been referred to as the Sphere Alliance. These new sphere beings have not only created an energetic blockade around Earth, but have also done so around our entire solar system. They are a non-violent group of beings who have brought assistance mainly in the form of a message. And what is the message? So this again is the quote at the top of that map. Focus on increasing your service to others and being more loving to yourself and everyone in order to raise your vibrational and consciousness levels. Learn to forgive yourself and others, thus releasing karma. This will change the vibration of the planet, raise the shared consciousness of humanity, and change humankind one person at a time, even if that one person is yourself. They tell us to treat our body as a temple and change over to a higher vibrational diet to aid in the process. So what is the warning? The Blue Avians also gave a warning with this message. They had tried to deliver this message 3 other times in the past, but it was distorted by humanity. They made it very clear that this information was not to become a cult or religious movement, nor was Corey to put himself before the message or elevate himself as a guru status. Anyone who does so should be avoided and held accountable, including Corey. Why are they here? The Sphere Being Alliance is fighting the current controlling elite known as the Cabal or Illuminati, who exist on Earth at this very moment. There are events and battles occurring above our atmosphere involving the secret space program and breakaway civilizations. The people of Earth have been in debt slavery, mind controlled, sickened, and lied to in order to control the masses. We have had technologies suppressed from us that would change our lives. The Alliance is here to help humanity evolve out of this lower frequency. It's time to know our rights, who we truly are, and what we need to do about it. These technologies would immediately collapse the world's economy and make the Babylon money magic slave system of no use anymore. It means the loss of control of the 0.01%, the elite, over the masses, and the complete paradigm change. This is what I'm talking about, like those contracts coming to an end, all of this coming to a head, and everything being exposed. In doing that, the reason that they don't want to, and the reason that they are trying to keep us under this lock and key of being trapped in the system, of this monotony of the 9 to 5, and just coming home and watching TV and eating shitty food and going through the drive-through and doing all the things that we shouldn't be doing. We shouldn't be living this way. And by suppressing us and keeping us under thumb and mind controlled, it keeps them in power, and it keeps them gaining everything that they think that they need to gain based out of greed and loosh and all of these terrible things, right? Because they've taken everything and they've only made it one side, and they've hijacked a whole bunch of stuff, shown you only this part of it, right? And they've brainwashed you with propaganda and all sorts of other bullshit to keep you stuck. So that's what this ascension process is about. We watched another documentary on Friday nights. We do that through Zoom. And it was talking about the art and science of ascension. And essentially it's just this continual flow of learning all that you can and getting to this peak, and then humbling yourself and coming back down and learning the next mountain to climb, right? And you're constantly in this flow of learning everything that you can, coming back down and pretending that you know nothing, and keeping this beginner state status so that you're constantly evolving, and you're constantly raising your consciousness level and your awareness, right? And in doing so, that's going to have this ripple effect out towards others. And that's why it's so important with what the message is, like, to start with one person at a time. And that one person needs to be yourself. Step away is to regain free will, 100%. So in doing this, in raising your consciousness level, it's about being able to step away from these systems. It's being able to step outside and see the simulation for what it is. And I understand that there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, well, what am I going to do for money? And I need to, do all this other stuff, and I have to do this in order to keep yes, I understand that. And we all have to. There's going to be this delicate balance for a while of stepping into this fifth dimension, into this state of consciousness, into this state of awareness, and making time for that, but also stepping into this 3D world, right? Because you're going to have to play the game for a little bit in order to be able to step into that other realm, into that higher level, right? So it's going to be this delicate balance that you're going to have. And it's tough and it's hard and it's going to take some time. But I feel like as we move forward with this, and as we all start to come together as a collective, as the masses, right, and realize that these are lies and we do see through them, it's going to have that ripple effect out. We're going to continue to raise the consciousness level. I mean, look at it already. How many people have already either started on this journey, or are thinking about starting on this journey, or are starting to question it? And there's even those that were so strongly on the other side, and now they're having these turning points and these moments. And I've spoke about this before, these massive moments of anagnorisis and peripatia, right? They're Greek words. And um Mike Rowe talks about this, where you have to be humble enough in yourself and set your ego aside to admit that you were wrong, to admit that, okay, maybe there's more to this. Okay, I can have an open mind. I can take a step back for a second and drop what I know and separate away from that in order to hear out this other side. Because if you can't argue both sides, then your opinion is uneducated. And in doing so, in opening your mind up to these things, you are slowly expanding your consciousness level. You're slowly separating away from that internal model that you've held on to for so long. And it's terrifying, right? Because as soon as one thing breaks away, everything else is going to crumble and fall in your life of what you thought and what you had to build everything around, right? So if this thing is a lie, then that means this is a lie, and this is a lie, and this is a lie, and yep, they are. And the beautiful thing about that, though, is you get to rebuild that foundation the way that you want it to look. There's no more of this pushed propaganda. There's no more of this programming. You're able to raise your vibrations. You're able to change the way that you live. You're able to start implementing these other things. And it's even if it's just one thing at a time, which it should be, because don't bite off more than you can chew, right? It's these little things that you start to change, right? It's in this message where you start to increase your service to others and remember that yourself is included in that other category. That was it on this page. Okay. I don't know what happened here, but I think these are videos and I don't really want to watch that. Creating optimal timeline. Oh, okay. We can talk about the optimal. Ooh, let's do that. So on this other, let me stop sharing this for, oh God, I almost hit leave studio. Jesus Christ, I'm almost hitting all the wrong buttons. So on the same site with the map, now that we're kind of on the map topic anyway. So the map, the blue avians, I guess that all kind of ties together. He has a couple different ones. And this other one that I really like is the optimal timeline reality. Overwhelmed with so much information. There's a lot. There really is a lot. But if you are in my Telegram, there is a whole chat just for the Great Awakening map. And that would be my recommendation to start, is kind of like scroll through that chat and then try and find it on the map. If you don't know where it is on the map, ask me. I probably know where it is because I've stared at that fucking thing so many goddamn times for so many hours. But this is another good one to read through, and it kind of breaks it down a little bit differently for you. So this is the optimal timeline reality, and this is kind of broken down by years and categories and sections. And again, this is just my interpretation of these things. This is how I'm reading them. This is how I've taught myself about this. So if it doesn't, I mean, take what resonates and leave the rest. So how I would read this one is, again, from the bottom up. So you're going to kind of, oh, let me zoom that back out just a little bit. So you're going to kind of take this in sections, right? And you can kind of see the years here. So this is kind of when everything started to come out, right? Everybody kind of started to take that red pill. Everybody kind of started to look into everything. And then COVID hit, which kind of jump started all this other stuff. But I would read this from the bottom up, and then I would read it in the sections that it is. So as you come up here to this middle section, right, you see the years here, you see the world peace, you see the compassion and the awakening, right? This is going to start happening on a massive scale. This is going to start coming in with the universal knowledge, that collective consciousness, that connection that we all have is going to start happening. And I've already noticed it on, and I don't know, maybe you guys have too, like on a personal level, immediately, like in my group of people, there's this connection, right? There's this, like, we're manifesting shit very quickly. Like, you got to start being really careful with the words that you speak, because shit's coming true real quick, right? Like, you start talking about stuff and it is coming true. Or like you go to text somebody and they text you immediately, like you're on that same wavelength, with people because we're all starting to get into this collective consciousness, right? That goes into the 100th monkey experiment. And this is 10 years, right? This is a whole thing. We're only in 2023, so this is going to take some time. And then after that, this is when we start getting into the really deep shit. This is when you start getting into cosmic peace. This is when get we've started to surpass those milestones that we've already hit. This is years of practice in. This is heavy meditation. This is extreme psychic abilities is where I believe that this is at, and this is where we want to be. This is the goal. All of it. Does anybody have anything to add or any questions so far? Top of the map right here. We are all using our co-collective consciousness to manifest the optimal timeline reality for Earth. And I truly believe that this can happen. I really do. While we're on the topic of the maps, let's pull this one up. This is the iceberg. Why does it do that every single time? That was the optimal timeline reality. So if you go in my clickables, and I'll drop the map link here. Let me get the map link for you guys. So if you go into the clickables, it's down in the Flocker Needs, the Great Awakening map. I'm going to copy the link. I'll drop it in here. And then I will also drop it in the show notes as well. Oops, clicking the wrong buttons. Okay, I guess I won't put it in the show notes because it won't let me. I will do that after. There's so many maps, but these are the Great Awakening maps. I'm not talking about, so there's what's the other map? There's the Q map, which is on the Great Awakening map. The Q map is on there, but there's other maps that go into different things. But this in particular, what I'm talking about is the Great Awakening map. You have to go to another site to get like the pharma versus the holistic map. Like I know that one's going around too. So this one is a very interesting way to look at it. And this is everything that you kind of see on the surface, right? Like the tip of the iceberg, if you will. And the deeper you go, the more you find. So this isn't all of the map points. This is going to be the broader ones, the most important ones. And this I kind of use as like a reference to look at the other map. Like, okay, like how far down do you want to go? Like, do you want to go all the way down here to collective consciousness and enlightenment and telekinesis, or do you want to stay up here and learn about the Q map or the shadow government or the fake news media, right? So the depth of this is going to play a part in it as well. It's just another way to look at it. Like if the other one is too overwhelming for you, there are other options. There's also this one too, which I wanted to show you guys, which is kind of an interesting take on it. And I really like that he did this and made it, because everybody learns different, everybody absorbs different information. So this one here is you kind of have this, it kind of goes up, right? So you have the asleep in the matrix, right? And then you have this awakening period, and then you have this ascension, right? So service to self, which is service to others, which then turns into service to the one, which is everything all included. And if you look at this, it kind of breaks the other map down a little bit more, right? So it kind of just has the main topics in sections where everything is going to be connected. So like if you wanted to do research on this, this is what you're going to want to research to understand understand this topic fully. All of these things are going to be connected, and it kind of breaks it down into easier to understand sections of how everything is connected and related together. So it's just a different way to kind of break it down and look at everything. Trying to get it all to fit on here for you guys. Oh, the dogs. Evening. You have the blank they do have a blanket. They have some pretty so, like, when I first found this map, they only had, like, 4 map options available, and there was no merch. Like, there wasn't a blanket, there wasn't the shirts that he's got now. Like, he had none of this stuff. It's amazing to watch his growth and what this has turned into. But Heather's got the blanket, and she can barely let go of it long enough to wash it. I wanna be a remote viewer, I need to see when the timeline converge, hope that I live that long. I mean, there's people that do it now, 100%. And there's like meditations that there's guided meditations and certain hypnoses, hip hypnotisms, hip what's the verb for that? What is the verb? Hip hypnosis that you can do. Hypnotics? Y- Listen, there's ways to do that. Okay? You got to like work on strengthening that skill set, just like anything, just like with meditation, just like with trying to astral project, like you have to build those muscles up. You have to work at it. You have to start small and build yourself up. It's just like lifting weights. Like you can't go in and expect to, you know, bench all this weight. You have to do it slowly, build your muscles up. Hypnotics. Thank you. I knew it was a word. It was a word. Okay. Just exiting out of all this stuff. All right, there we go. And it does happen at different levels for different individuals. And it might even be something like there's been so much of this throughout this journey that I've learned about that I didn't even know was a thing that I was already doing, right? And in going down this journey and researching these things, I've learned that some of what I've already been doing has a name. There's like a whole I'm like, "Oh shit, like I didn't realize that I've been doing this entire time." So I think that you might find that as you start researching this stuff, as you start trying to do this and learning how to do it, you're going to be like, "Oh my god, I already know how to do this. I've already been doing this. I just didn't know how to control it or how to fine tune it or something of that nature." But I believe that I agree with you, Heather. We all have these abilities to different levels, and some of them just might haven't been unlocked yet. Okay. So I know that this is a different type of live than I usually do. And I am still kind of testing the waters with this podcast because it is newer and kind of seeing what fits and what doesn't. So does this type of live, is this what you guys want? I mean, I'll still mix in the guest speakers that we have because I do have some people signed up, but I think that we're going to start taking it back to the basics and where we started and start just shooting darts at the map here. Is this what we want to continue? We got some feedback on the TikTok. Yes, yes. Okay. It is. It is 100% already embedded in our DNA, and it's about reactivating that DNA. Definitely go into the rotation, break it down. Okay. Good. All right. Awesome. Well, then it's sold then. It's sold. We'll start shooting at the map. It'll be fun. The flower worked. I had to come up with a solution of how I was going to, because it wasn't going to stick to the map and I didn't want to like ruin the map, right? So the flower was a good idea. The little learning lessons. Yes. And I'm learning this stuff right along with you guys. Like this isn't like, oh, I mean, some of the stuff I do have extensive notes on and I've researched like within an inch of its life. But a lot of this, like I'm learning it right along with you guys. Like this journey, we're experiencing it all at the same time. Blow darts next time. They don't sell those at the dollar store. But no, this was fun. This was definitely a fun idea. I like this. I needed to get back into the map. That was the invitation. Shipmess, thank you so much again for this idea. Very special thank you and shout out to Beautifully Calm on TikTok. Thank you so much. Is she Beautifully Calm in the YouTubes? Where'd she go? Is it Beautifully Calm 8? No, it's just Beautifully Calm. There she is. I'm not allowed to have super glue. You think I can be trusted with blow darts? You're lucky that I have a Nerf gun. That thing's got some power to it. Like, I was a little shocked it bounced back at me that far. I had to practice shooting with it before I did the TikTok because I did I don't know if you guys can tell, but like part of my part of my thing has fallen down because it shot a lot higher than I expected it to. So, yeah. We had to practice with that thing first, but I found both darts. I have them. I have the two that it came with because they definitely recoil and bounced off of everything and went everywhere. So this podcast is every Tuesday night at 8. I do the Flock podcast, and it's always something different. It's a little bit of everything. You never know what it's going to be, but stick around long enough because something's bound to happen, right? We just we just never know. The Dollar General, they didn't even check my ID or nothing. I didn't need an adult or a signature. They just sold it to me. But this was a great show, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Anybody who is watching the replay of this, I hope that this was informative and stick around because we will definitely be doing more of these. So, special shout out to James with Double Low who does the music for us. Goose with Here to Chew Bubblegum. Make sure you check that out on this Flocking Network, 9:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings, Eastern Standard Time. Special shout out to our sponsors, Static and Noise, and all of these can be found under the channels tab. Make sure you check that community tab out because I do post some stuff there some of the times. Stay tuned for a Flockfest message coming around soon. I will be sending something out as an update with that because that is coming up sooner than we think. Sooner than we think. So make sure you click the clickables along with clicking the like and that subscribe button. Drop a comment, send this out to people. And stay tuned for more to come. Flock around and find out, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a good night.